stop that immediately. That's a little bit over the top there, ladies and gentlemen. But very welcome, I have to say. Thank you so much for that. That was so... Whatever happens next, I'm going to look back on tonight as a great success. So thank you so much. It's good of you. My name is Ardle, by the way. It is a real name. People are always asking me, like, what sort of a name is Ardle? In quite a hostile way sometimes. What sort of a name is Ardle? You know, as if I picked it, like, as if I enjoyed being called Ardle, the big fat Mardle all my life. You think I like... No, I didn't. The truth is, my parents named me after a village in Norway. This is true, by the way, which is best known for an aluminium plant that's been linked with a very serious outbreak of Alzheimer's disease. There's a very weird sense of humour, my parents. Calling me after an environmental disaster zone. I'm just being paranoid, according to my brothers, Chernobyl and Hiroshima. I had a really embarrassing incident earlier on in the week. I was on a train and I offered my seat to a woman, and I started talking to her. She didn't like that, but you know, I gave her my seat, so the least you could do is have a chat. And I said to her, when are you due? And of course, I probably shouldn't have said that. I mean, it wasn't the first time. And she looked at me with horror. And of course, I realized she wasn't actually pregnant. She was just a little bit fat. But quick as a flash, I covered my tracks. I said, when are you due another snack? So, yeah. So it's brilliant to be here in Leeds, I have to tell you that. Last weekend was pretty traumatic. I was at home in Dublin. We were having a family meeting with my family, obviously my brothers and sisters and I. It was a meeting we'd been putting off for a very long time. It was the what are we going to do with Mammy meeting. Now, I don't know if any of you have had that one yet. Ever since the accident, she spends the whole day just looking through the window. I wanted to let her in, but they were having none of it. That's the sort of people I grew up with. So that's what's going on. I should warn you, ladies and gentlemen, due to the very harsh economic conditions everywhere, I've had to cut back on the number of jokes in my set tonight, so I apologise for that. I've had to let all my joke writers go and outsource the whole operation to India. So, that's the way it's going. So most of my current material is about arranged marriages and the perils of bathing in the Ganges. So that's not much good to us here in Leeds. But I'm a big hit in Mumbai, so that's something. Sanjeev actually wrote that bit and that bit. So he's getting the hang of it. But I think it's very important that we all look on the bright side, ladies and gentlemen, going forward. We must be positive. And one advantage of the recession is that obese people aren't getting a hard time anymore. You don't read so much about it or anything. Everyone's thinking, oh, they're the clever ones, putting it all away for a rainy day. Mind you, I was reading in the newspaper that some American airlines, they're charging obese people for 2 seats. Can you believe that? That's just a bit mean, isn't it? Of course, Ryanair, crafty as ever, they're on the case as well. They're charging schizophrenics for 2 seats. They always have to go too far, don't they? You hear the latest ruse? They're charging for emotional baggage now, I kid you not. I'm going to stop. But we've got to try and be positive. My father was an incredibly upbeat man. He was one of these people, he says, the best way to be positive is to live every day as if it's your last day on earth. It's good advice, isn't it? What I do is I spend all day in bed with an oxygen mask and some rosary beads. You should try that. It's not easy to be positive. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a Catholic. It's not easy being a Catholic nowadays. I mean, it was never easy being a Catholic, but now with all the scandals worldwide, it's horrendous. I have to tell you, I think the Pope should resign, and I think the cardinals should resign, and I think God himself should seriously consider his position at this stage. I mean, he must have known what was going on. You know, he should quit and be replaced by one of the Hindu fellas with all the arms and the legs. Sanjeev assured me that would get a bit of a titter. It's terrible. You can't have any association with the church anymore. You can't even admit to being a fictional priest anymore. That's what I find personally, you know. It's true. And I don't like saying this, I don't say it lightly, but I think the Pope is a big fat liar. He is. You just know right well when he's apologising to the faithful, you just know he's hiding another priest under his cassock. You just know that. Even the word cassock, it's an anagram of ass and cock. That's how depraved. That's how depraved they are. Yeah. But I think that the truth is, things are pretty grim everywhere. And we've all got to tighten our belts now, don't we? I went out to a restaurant with my wife the other night. I have a wife, hooray! And wives are great. And we went out to a restaurant for an argument. And we were there for a little while. Some of you have wives, you know what I'm talking about. It was the anniversary of our first argument, and we were there for a while, and she had a starter, and I didn't bother myself, and then we went home. And on the way out, I took a huge big handful of mints and an extra coat, so it turned out to be a pretty good night after all. There are so many manly things that I cannot do. I can't even open a bra with any sort of confidence or distinction. That's something all men should be able to do from an early age. Open a bra. Women appreciate a bit of dexterity in that department. I mean, if you don't have a girlfriend, just ask your friend to put on a bra and practice on him, because it's important. Women hate all the awkward fumbling. Oh, God, I'll do it myself. And then, of course, the magic is gone. My wife knows all she has to do is wear a bra, and she's safe from my advances. 2 bras, another one instead of knickers, and she's in violet. You know? Sometimes she slings a bra across the front door, I can't even get into the house. She keeps all our money in a bra, and our biscuits. But making love is not an unpleasant activity, if memory serves me correctly. But as a term, it leaves an awful lot to be desired, doesn't it? Making love. It just sounds a little bit insipid. It doesn't describe the act effectively. How did you get on last night? Oh, we made love, and then we watched location. It was a really great night. You know, when lads are together, the language is more robust, isn't it? It's more effective. You know, how did you get on last night? I screwed her. I nailed her. You know, I drilled her. It's all DIY terminology, frankly, isn't it? I sanded her down, so I did. I primed her. I applied 2 coats, and I let her dry. There's millions of euphemisms for this activity. It doesn't have to be DIY, it can be anything. Oh, she was leaking, I sorted that out, so I did. You know? I'll leave it on that one. But, yeah. Do you know what I mean? But I think the most important time of the day for anyone here lucky enough to be in a relationship, I think, is the first half an hour after you get into bed in the evening. This is the vital time for all of us who live busy lives. This is the chance to catch up on the day's events and discuss your hopes and your dreams for the future, and to blame each other for stuff that went wrong earlier on. And it's also a great opportunity to touch each other. Maybe not like that. That won't get you very far. Just stop polishing my face there, you freak. It's a very important time of the day. Don't squander it. It also happens to be the time of the day that my wife decides to text every single person she knows. It's infuriating. It goes on for hours. The only way I can get her attention in the bed is by text. You know, if you ever move over there, you've got the whole duvet. Then I get a text back. Who is this? So I'm having an affair at the moment. With my wife, I should stress, we're both very lazy people. And basically, it's a game we play. Something I'd like to share with you that you can use in your lives if you need it. I arrive home on a Tuesday afternoon pretending to be my wife's secret lover, wearing a cravat and clogs and special leggings. And we go up to the bedroom and take all our clothes off, and she's going, oh, no, we shouldn't. And I'm going, oh, we should. And what happens only this very good friend of ours called Tony calls around, pretending to be my wife's husband. And, yeah. I had to very quickly put on all my clothes and climb out the window and stay away for about 3 hours. So. I'm not a fool. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all from me. Thank you very, 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 very much for listening to me, and good night. Thank you. Cheers.